I think all of you know, following the November election, many in our community are feeling scared and vulnerable. And I'm wondering if you can share how the Healey Driscoll administration is preparing to support specifically individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, including autism and their families as we go forward. Undersecretary, do you want to kick it off? Or?
Sure, I'll be happy to kick it off. I guess first, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge how important your concerns are. Changes at the federal level, no matter which candidate you voted for, can feel uncertain and unsettling. And especially when it comes to programs that so many of you and other families rely on for really critical services. And I speak for myself, and I think my fellow panelists, that we understand the anxiety that this creates, and we really share your commitment to wanting to protect the well-being of individuals with disabilities. And I think we should all take great pride that here in Massachusetts, we have a really long and strong history of being a leader in disability rights and services. And I keep saying, and again, I know, Sarah and her colleagues share this, our job, our commitment hasn't changed, and it won't change on January 21st. We remain deeply committed to ensuring that individuals with disabilities have access to the supports they need. And again, that's regardless of the changes at the federal level. And we'll continue to prioritize programs here in our own state that promote independence, dignity, and the quality of life for every resident. Meanwhile, we do have some really good safeguards in place. And Maura mentioned a really important one. We have a really strong legislative support. There are champions in our legislature. We also have really great advocacy partners, and that the ARC is certainly one of them, and there are many others. And these collaborations and partnerships really will work to help shield our community from negative potential changes. And by the way, I should point out that there's federal dollars, and there's also our own state budget and policies. And in many cases, our state commitment through our budget and our policies really go on in really significant ways to ensure continuity of care for individuals with disabilities. I just alluded to this, but we're just not alone on this. We collaborate closely with ARC, with national organizations, with other state agencies, with other stakeholders to monitor what's going on at the federal level, and to work and provide information to these organizations so that they can use that information in a way that may help advocate and advance their causes. If there are any proposed changes at the federal level, we're going to work tirelessly to advocate for policies that protect our vulnerable populations. I guess I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'll let Executive Director McCauley say a few words. But the other thing is really one of transparency and communication. I think always communication is so important. And yet at times like this, during transition, I think it's even more important that folks really stay connected and share what they're hearing on the ground, as well as what we're hearing from our partners at the federal level. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why we were so eager to come today, to be able to hear from this community about what your concerns are, so that we don't assume anything, and that we make sure we're taking those to heart.